Welcome to the Social for Brokers podcast. Today, I've actually got someone on that I've been following personally on social media for quite a while now. It was their branding that really caught my eye with Vantage Mortgages. So we have got Adam from Vantage Mortgages on the podcast. Now, they've been going since 2019, and Adam has been a mortgage broker since 2007, but he's recently taken the step to step back from being a mortgage broker, which I know a lot of people I speak to have been thinking about, not sure how to do it. So we're really going to get into that. The main reason I wanted to get Adam onto the podcast is because he's been making a really conscious effort to record quality content for the likes of YouTube, Instagram, that I see a lot on there. And he's really pushed it up the last few months that I've seen on social media. And what I want people to see is, at the moment, the YouTube channel isn't as big as they want it to be, but I want to talk about how he's documenting that journey, because there's no doubt the content that they're putting out, they'll get to those levels, but we're going to talk about a bit about behind the scenes and how he's growing it organically. So without further ado, Adam, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you.
You can probably see, if you are watching it on YouTube, you'll see Adam's shirt, and this is something that I saw on LinkedIn. It's the flowery shirt. It's your brand anchor, isn't it? It's something that people know you for.
Yeah, I try and always have a loud, vibrant, awful shirt. Well, some people say awful. I like it, but yeah, try and kind of look a little bit distinctive on YouTube, so that eventually people will go, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that wears the really loud shirts."
That's the one. Yeah, it's like Ash Borland always wears the white polo, doesn't he? A white V-neck is always
that,
You've got the other. Where'd you get all these shirts from, anyway?
Well, to be honest, just TK Maxx normally.
Oh, they're great for like unique stuff, because there's not loads of them, are there?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not overly expensive, so I can go in and buy 3 or 4, and it doesn't break the bank, but they look okay.
So YouTube superstar. In the future, people like who makes those kind of shirts? Like what? There used to be a company called
fewer like Ted Baker and that sort of thing tend to go for their sort of stuff. TK Maxx is going to be last season, isn't it? But that's okay.
Anyway, we'll move off the fashion. Yeah. So Adam, you've been in the industry since 2007, but you could give us and the listeners a bit of an insight of how you got started.
So I started working at Nationwide, actually, just on the counter. Actually, going back years and years, I used to work with horses. I rode horses since I was like really young, and I used to go around the country riding horses and working with people. But I was always kind of the helper and never the rider. So I got to about age 20 and thought I should get a proper job. So landed at Nationwide just on the counter, not really knowing what to do or what I wanted to do. A job came up for mortgage advisor. I don't know what a bloody hell a mortgage is, never mind anything else. And they were like, no, don't worry, just go for it. We'll teach you what you need to know. So went for it, got it, did a year or so at Nationwide, and then moved to Countrywide.
I didn't realise you worked for Countrywide.
Actually walked past our local Taylor's branch, Taylor's Countrywide, and saw an advert in the window, mortgage advisor wanted. Give that a go. And then 6 years later, I was area manager at Countrywide, looking after the team. Mm-hmm. But a lot of changes at Countrywide and things. So it was good. It taught me well, and kind of gave me that hunger, although I think that's in me anyway, but that hunger and drive, gotta do well, I'm not that competitive against other people, but got to do well against
the leagues, wasn't it? I worked at Countrywide as well. It was always the leagues. You wanted to be top of the leagues, didn't you?
Yeah. So I think in my best years I was just about top 10 at Countrywide. I think it was like hovering around 10th. So I did all right out of little old Banbury, which in the later days didn't sell many houses, but we did a decent amount of mortgage business. And I guess that kind of gave me the encouragement to go self-employed, really, because I knew that even though I was in a rubbish estate agency branch, no offence to whoever was in there if you're listening, but I didn't sell that many houses, but I knew that I could get mortgage business. So went self-employed about 2013.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2013. Went self-employed with so I kind of sat under a couple of other guys that had a firm, and I joined them, just a self-employed broker, kind of doing my own thing in their office, again in Banbury. That went well. We were, did quite a lot of business. People go their separate ways, don't they? And I ended up then kind of taking on the business with one of the other guys, and we ran that 50-50 for a couple of years. And again, people go their separate ways. We were quite different, so we they stayed where they are, and I left.
Right.
I left to go and set up completely solo. Basically, I left with my laptop and a list of names, and off I went to go solo. That was Vantage's his first month in February 2019.
Wow. And then that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
So you had Vantage, and then you moved on to, you stepped back from being a mortgage broker, I believe, this year.
Yeah, so that's pretty recent. So when we started, it was me in the spare room for a few months, and then Gemma came and joined me. Gemma's been with me since the start, really. A couple of months in, she helped me with all my admin, and then she got qualified, became an advisor herself. So it was the two of us doing business together. And then what is it now? Yeah, early 2020, we moved offices, bought an estate agent. Thought that would be a really good idea just before COVID, to buy an estate agent.
Oh God.
I probably won't talk about that too much because it makes me cry. So yeah, that was 2020, and then so a new office. So that's probably when you noticed kind of new branding and stuff. That's when Julie came on board. So Julie's my wife and does all of our social posts and things, makes all the bits and bobs that we do. So she joined us. She does some estate agency things, and she does our branding. And then a couple of extra advisors, Sam and Dan, they joined us at the very end of 2021, early 2022. And that's the point that I pretty much stopped writing business. I still speak to customers, existing customers. Then I tend to kind of have the initial chat and then sort of pass it on. Excuse me. So yeah, that's when I stepped back. And it's kind of one of those, so I was listening to your podcast with John Stones a few weeks ago, and I was listening to it in the car, and I was sitting in the car park, so it got to sort of an interesting bit, and I thought, I can't get out of the car now, I'll sit here for 5 minutes and carry on listening. And he was talking about how they expanded because they got so busy and couldn't do it on their own. And I remember thinking, he was talking about the pain and stuff they went through, because when you take on advisors, want to step back, you need to think about replacing yourself and replacing the income that's 100% yours to someone that's not quite you. No offense to the other guys, but they're not quite me. And you got to pay them, and then you got to pay them some commission, and then you need probably 4 people at least on our kind of current setup. I would say to replace my income and sort of stand still. So we're at that point now where it's quite painful still, I won't lie. It's I
love the honesty with that, because it's a big, to take a step back and if you're the only broker, you're taking 100% of the revenue out of the business, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you're taking a risk on 4 people to replace your revenue.
Yeah. And now, so you got to get 50% of the revenue from those people. And it's been tough, I won't lie. It's been a tough couple of years really, with COVID and all the restrictions and things, being in the office. We're very much in the office. I see people saying, we should have the right to work from home, and I think, well, no, that's a load of rubbish. I want people in the office. I don't work very efficiently at home. But luckily everyone on the team wants to be in the office too, so we're flexible about it, but we're office based. We're back in.
So you've now got 3 brokers.
3 mortgage and 1 protection only.
So where do the leads come from to feed those brokers? Because that's a big thing, to go from just you to step back to give 3 brokers plus a protection one. Where do your leads come from?
So it's kind of built up over time, really. So in 2019, we had my existing clients, and I had a reasonable client bank, but enough for me. we inherited, well, not inherited because we've kind of, paid some money for it, but we had a retiring advisor a couple of years ago, really lovely guy. It wasn't based too far away, so we took on his client bank as well, and we've paid him over the last few years on the back of his business, so that's helped. And then apart from that, really, we've generated stuff online, through social, a little bit through our estate agency, a little bit through a couple of other estate agents. So we've got a fairly kind of wide mix of stuff going on, really.
Revenue streams opposed to just relying on the one.
Yeah.
Say that's important for a business.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. I've always been kind of in and around estate agencies, so I thought it'd be a good idea to have one. But so, but I don't want to be reliant on estate agency business because it can go up and down so much. It's a bit quiet at the moment from estate agency. So we're probably finding more stuff comes from online at the moment, but then there'll be times, and depending on the estate agency you're dealing with as well, they'll have busy periods and quiet periods. So and you're also reliant on someone else remembering to ask a question for you.
Yeah.
Whereas Google puts your ad in front of someone, no matter how it's feeling or what sort of day it's had.
Yeah,
so,
good point. Interesting to see which revenue streams you use to bring leads in. So that's your background, that's your company, that's how it's all set up, which is fantastic. Let's talk about social media now. What would you say is your favorite platform at the moment from a business point of view?
YouTube, definitely.
Right. Okay. So this is one that I know the power of it, but not quite sure how to utilize it in the best way for brokers. So somebody like yourself, we were talking about the likes of Nicola McKenzie, Alex Kerr, that have dominated that market. And but it's going to be really interesting to speak to you and what you've put in terms of foundations to try and get to those levels. So the first thing with YouTube is, where do you come up with content ideas for YouTube?
To be honest, YouTube is like the second largest search engine in the world. So there's tons and tons and tons of content on there. And I think, and I've heard someone else say this as well, I don't think you should be afraid to see what's working for other people and sort of emulate that, because even if you watch a video that's done well for someone else, think, oh yeah, I'll do one along the similar lines. You're never going to say exactly the same thing, and it's never going to be exactly the same content. It's going to be your version of that thing. So I tend to have a little look around on YouTube. I tend to have a little look around on other social platforms and things, and look at what people are talking about. I do a bit of research. I do a bit of keyword research and Google research on, popular searches and things.
Popular searches on Google, not YouTube.
Yeah, and on YouTube as well. So you can Google it, but you can look at what people are searching for on YouTube relatively easily. So yeah, I kind of have a look really at what other people are talking about and what's done well, and then kind of put my own spin on it. We also look at what questions and things have come in to us recently, and I've got content written down for the next few months, I suppose. Ideas, not pinned down videos, but ideas for videos. I've got a section about self-employed. That'll probably be a month or 6 weeks videos out of self-employed. It's quite a big subject. The various kind of snippets. Most of my stuff at the moment is geared towards first-time buyers because that's the biggest searches. That's what most searches. And I've done a couple of remortgage ones as well, but the actual views and the likes and the business that's come off the back of it has mostly been first-time buyers, because they're the ones doing the most research online. So yeah, just
buyers hopefully will be the people that will be remortgaging in 2 years' time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Follow habit, don't we, as humans? If I found some information as a first-time buyer on YouTube, I'm going to go to YouTube again to find information about a remo or how to help pay off my Help to Buy loan. That's where you're playing the long game with that, aren't you?
Yeah. And to be honest, I put a lot of hours into researching YouTube, researching how it works, researching what the algorithm does, researching what content to put on there. Because, as mortgage brokers, we think, oh, well, I want to talk about protection, or I want to get remortgage business. Well, it's all very well and good you wanting to do that, and you can put videos on that sort of stuff to you blue in the face. But if no one's searching for that, no one's going to watch it. So
shouting into the empty room otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to do stuff that people are actually interested in, are actually looking for.
And what tools do you use to research videos? Then you say YouTube. Is there a way to search for certain keywords on YouTube?
There is, and I've got it written down somewhere. I can't tell you exactly what it is right now. But
there is a website. So how long do you spend on that YouTube keyword planner every week, would you say?
I do a bit of research on a Monday. So I've got an idea in my mind. Do a bit of research on the Monday, kind of plan it out, and then the jazzy shirt goes on a Tuesday morning. Tuesday's filming day. It takes a little bit of research. It takes some planning. So I've got a big whiteboard in front of me, which I put down notes. I don't work to a script, because if you work to a script, it can sound wooden. So make loads of mistakes and and R and pause and look at my notes and stuff, and that all gets edited out later on.
Okay, so it just shows to people that it's not perfect take all the time. You need to have a few goes at it. How long are your videos?
So I tend to record anywhere between sort of 10 and 15 minutes worth of footage, but by the time you've taken out my mistakes, you tend to get a video around 10, 12 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I did one the other day, which was more like 7, so it depends on the subject. But YouTube's all about keeping people on the channel. YouTube likes content that keeps people on YouTube for longer. So if you do a video that's 3 minutes long and then someone watches 30 seconds of it and then clicks off because they want to go off and do something else, you're not gonna rank. The more you keep people on YouTube, the more it will put your videos in front of other people.
Yes. So it's all about keeping that audience entertained. With shooting a video, say if you were to say, right, I'm going to record a video today.
Yeah.
10-minute video. How long would it take you to set the camera up, stand there, get everything ready? How long from you getting into the office to setting it up to finishing that video before any edits?
Half an hour max.
Okay, right. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than that.
So I've got, I don't know, for those on YouTube, we'll be able to see this. So I've got my kind of setup here. We've got the wall studio. I've got a little light over there. I've got another light there.
That's class.
I've got a whiteboard with all my notes and stuff. So that's already set up. That sits upstairs. It lives upstairs. It's always there. The camera's on a tripod there. So just got to put the battery in, put the memory card in, and kind of press record, really.
I didn't think it was that quick. And then how long does it take you to edit the video then? And that includes like the thumbnails as well.
Yeah. So when I started out, I was editing it myself. Again, spent loads of time researching editing software and how to do it. It used to take me a few hours to edit each video, and they ended up looking okay, but probably just okay. So then just recently, the last few, and particularly the last couple actually, we've kind of nailed it down a little bit more. I found just someone on Fiverr. They're in Lithuania. It's easy. I upload the footage to Google Drive. She takes it off, edits it, comes back a few days later, and it's ready to go. Basically, it cost me about. More recent ones are taking a little bit longer because you just put in some extra jazzy bits in, but so it's about £30 a video.
See, that's not bad at all. Do you tell her where to cut those videos?
No. So sometimes if I do 2 bits, if I do 2 intros, I'll sort of say, oh, I like the first one better, or I like the second one better. But then she'll just take out the mistakes, or if I repeat something, she'll take it out.
How How many mistakes do you make a video? Because I find,
Oh God, loads. So last week, the footage I sent was about 11 minutes long. Ended up a 7-minute video. So you know,
4 minutes of you going,
yeah, definitely.
and
So
this is,
yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because there's loads of them.
and that's, I like to talk about this and get behind the scenes, because people will go onto your YouTube channel, watch this perfectly polished video and think, I could never do that. But nor could you at the beginning.
No, definitely.
Everybody learns, and that's what editing's for, is to get somebody on board to chop that video up into the perfect video that people see.
So I've been doing videos for a little while, but before I knew anything about editing, I'd try and shoot a video in one take, and then if I messed up, I'd be like, oh God, I'll go and record the whole thing again now.
How did you?
Because I didn't have time. I didn't know. So that was a nightmare. But now,
Sorry.
now I know about editing and what can be done. I can mess up to my heart's content, and the camera keeps rolling, and that's that. We end up with a finished product a week later.
The way that you're talking about how we do mock up, and it does take a few takes, doesn't it? When you upload it to YouTube, how simple is it to upload a video to YouTube?
You piece of cake on the whole. Drag and drop into YouTube. It takes a few minutes to upload and go through its checks and things. But then the work's not done. You can't just stick a video on YouTube and call it, Adam's video or whatever. You've got to think of a name. Got to think of a name that people are actually searching for. But it can't be clickbaity, because then people will click on it and then realise it's not what you're talking about, and they'll click off, and that's no good for your algorithm. So it's got to be relevant, but also catchy. Your description's got to also be about it. You've got to have keywords in there that are relevant for the video and what people are going to search for. We've also got to have all the disclaimers and stuff in there as well, links to websites and appointments and all that sort of stuff. Most importantly, like hugely important, is the thumbnail. So I've seen people say, "Oh, here's some videos on my YouTube channel," and it's just the thumbnail. So the thumbnail is the still image of the video, and it's just a random still of halfway through the video, and they're pulling a gormless face. Like we did a video for Facebook earlier, just about some news thing, and Julie put it on. I was like, yeah, it's great, but I look like I'm screwing up my face because I'm mid sentence or something. So your thumbnail is well over half of the thought process for someone to actually click on your video or not.
You want them.
So we try and make all our thumbnails look the same, so you can tell it's our brand. It's the brand colors. It's me. It's kind of catchy. There's keywords on there for what people are looking at. It's really important that all of that stuff goes together. I'm talking like I'm a massive YouTube expert. I've got just under 200 subscribers compared to Alex Kerr at 16,000. But we're learning.
Between yourself and somebody like Alex Kerr, is it's time. It sounds to me, using all the right keywords, and I'm no expert in YouTube whatsoever, but it's not just a case of, you just upload a video to YouTube and you get the leads rolling.
No.
Think about the thumbnail. You need to think about the heading, the subheading, the description. But before the podcast started, we were talking about that. How long have you been doing YouTube for now, and what kind of business levels are you seeing from YouTube?
So it's only been, it's probably not even 3 months, actually. I recorded the first few videos all in one go. So I had 3 or 4, I think I had 3 to upload all in one go. Just, taking my time, doing the research, getting them edited, just getting it all ready to press go. Some people, I'm going well off piste here, aren't I? But some people say, "Oh, any content's good content, just upload any content." And I have to say, I don't really agree with that, because I spend a lot of time watching YouTube myself.
Right.
I'm normally watching a video about a car or boat or plane or something that I can't afford. But I only watch the videos that are good quality. So sound is a big thing for me. If you can't hear the person that well, or it sounds amateur, or it's fuzzy, or if it doesn't look good, it's not going to keep the audience engaged.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. So you don't need loads of stuff. I mean, I've got a second-hand DSLR camera and just a Rode wireless mic thing, which is a reasonable sound. I've got sound panels on the wall and stuff to kind of block out some of the noise. Just trying to make it, it's not big budget stuff at all, but just trying to make it so that it looks and sounds okay. Sorry, the actual question was about leads, wasn't it?
No, yeah. How many leads are you getting? Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few. So we've had I can't put a number on it specifically off the top of my head. I would say we've probably had 10 or so leads so far. So it's not big numbers, but those leads, they already want to use us because they've seen us on YouTube. They already know who I am. They already know that we know what I'm talking about because they've watched the video on it. So it's a very, very warm lead. You know, when they book their appointment, they're ready to kind of talk to us about it and kind of ready to go.
This is the thing, and it's a big thing on social advertising, is so many companies go around saying, I can get you leads, I can get you leads. They probably can get you leads, but how good are those leads? How many leads convert into appointments, and how many appointments convert into business? What you're saying is you've got 10 leads, you're probably going to get at least 8 or 9 of those booked in because they've seen your face, they know who you are, they like your style, the way they you give information, so they want to book an appointment with you.
Yeah.
So I think 10 leads is phenomenal for 3 months just starting out, and knowing that those 10 leads are going to be 10 business cases.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed.
The one thing I was going to say, which is something that I was talking to Glenn Russell on the last episode, is about the items in the video, because I can see in the background that you've got a lamp, and then you've got 2, like, I assume they're fake plants, please.
Yeah, IKEA. Yeah.
Why do you put those in the video?
It's just something so it's not just me. So my first few videos, I had like a fake wood panel background. It's just on a big hangy frame thing, and it was fine. It just looked like I was stood in front of a wooden wall. But it's all about, well, for me at least, and I've done a little bit of YouTube research on this. It's just making it look a bit more professional. So I've thought about where we are and what we're doing, how we look, the lighting. So there's all sorts of reasons behind the lighting. You know, why one's over to the side and then one's up above, and it's creating shadows and stuff. Things in the background to just kind of catch the eye as well. So it's not just all about me. So there's the lamp, there's our strapline, Mortgages Made Simples on the wall. And Mortgages Made Simple will then follow you around. It's on the website, it's on the Facebook, it's on Instagram. It follows you around everywhere. So
that's really interesting. It's because I was saying behind me, I thought, because I've not been huge on video, I thought, right, blue wall, got my sign, that's great, it's branding. But actually, yours is much more interesting. Even though it's just a plan, it draws you right. And I watch a lot of Gary V, and he's got in the background, he's got all of his memorabilia, and that. Yeah. Although you're watching the video, it gives your eyes something else to watch as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's a marketing guy, he's Canadian, Wes McDowell or someone like that on YouTube. I watch a lot of his stuff. He's about social media and websites and SEO and things. And his background's really cool. Yeah, people with neon signs and things. I was going to go for a neon sign, but it was about 600 quid. And I thought, I'll get a vinyl one for now. And we'll get a few more leads coming in, then I'll upgrade to a neon.
So I know you're big on YouTube, but you're making a conscious effort on Instagram as well, aren't you?
Yeah. So last couple of months, Julie's taken that kind of on properly, trying to just make it consistent. So we try and kind of make the grid look consistent. You know, so when I do a YouTube video, I also record a couple of snippets. They don't both go on Instagram, they both go on Facebook. So it's just like a 30-second snippet of that video, just to, well, it's something to post on Facebook, to be honest, but it then also drives people to the video. And then we take a tip from that YouTube video and put that on Instagram, and then something else from the video that goes on Instagram. So there's 3 or 4 things that we use on the other social platforms from that video. Then every couple of weeks, we'll do a blog from one of those videos. I'm going to start doing a podcast from the videos as well for the website. So it all links together and it all feeds back to
So
that.
even though you've made that one video, you've repurposed it into probably 10, 30-second clips for social, for Facebook and Instagram. You've written a blog post about it. You've uploaded a video. So although that maybe takes you 2 hours, say, in total from getting it clipped to recording it, giving you maybe 2 or 3 months worth of content off the back of it, hasn't it?
Yeah. And we used to always think, oh, we need a blog this month. What should we do a blog about? Well, now we do a video every week. So we've got four things that we could choose to do a monthly blog about. It's not just the content for the YouTube. It's content for all of it, and we're just trying to make it consistent. And we've had a couple of inquiries through Facebook recently. The followers on Facebook, they're not going through the roof. When we're not the biggest by any stretch, but it's very, very slowly building.
Research suggests that social media following should grow by about 30% a year. And if it's more than that, it's a huge, do you know what I mean? It's massive. And that actually came from Dave Corbett talking about that.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, people, I think social media, and especially the likes of TikTok at the moment, this is how you gain 10,000 followers in 6 months. You might do, but they might be all rubbish. Do you know what I mean? If you got 1,000 subscribers overnight on YouTube, you're like, yes. But then you think, well, actually, how many of those 1,000 people actually watch my content?
Yeah. Probably and that's the Validity, isn't it, versus Sanity, I suppose. Having 4,000 Facebook followers that are, people in India or wherever other countries are available that are just paid to, follow stuff. Mm-hmm. They're never going to work with you. You're better off having 500 followers that actively, like your stuff or watch your stuff and actually might turn into clients one day.
So it's all about building a good audience. Right, so now I'm going to move on to the strategy question, which I love this part of the podcast because you get so many different answers. So we're going to pretend that you've moved to the north of Scotland. You've got a laptop, a mobile phone and an internet connection. What do you do to start generating mortgage business?
So as long as if I got a camera phone, hopefully I've got a camera phone.
Yeah, it's not a Nokia 3210. It's got a camera.
Right. Cool. So I am doing video after video after video, and I'm putting it on social media. I'm looking for groups on social media. Okay. Wherever I am, we'll start local. So if we're in the Shetland Isles, local Facebook community page, and then we're just sort of expanding out from there, really. So if I can make videos. And make myself a little website and run some Google ads, then I'm well away. That's me sorted.
That's interesting. We've not had anybody talk about. We haven't really spoken about Google ads because we're main on to YouTube. But do you use Google ads to drive the website, or do you use them to drive the videos?
Both. So YouTube is Google. Google owns YouTube, so I put not much, but a little bit of money behind a few of the kind of better ranking organically. So I've got 3 or 4 videos, just put a few pounds a day at certain times of the day behind being sponsored videos. So being a sponsored video on YouTube, not in the, when you watch a YouTube video, you get the ad come up at the start and you can skip through after 5 seconds. It's not that. It's actually coming up in the search search results for you. So if you search mortgage brokers, or mortgage or whatever, our video will come up as a sponsored video, and it's just like any other video. So we get quite a lot of watches from that, and I'm just trying to build up the audience as fast as I can, really.
And do you do Google ads and YouTube ads yourself, or do you have an agency run them for you?
I've done the YouTube ones myself. I've done the website ones myself as well, although I don't really know what I'm talking about in enough detail. So they're paused, and we're just actually in conversation with someone about what we're going to do on that to kind of take us to the next level, because we've played around with Google Ads and it does drive a fair bit of traffic to the website. We can get traffic to the website, and again, John from Mortgage First was talking about this. They're big PPC users by the sounds of that, which kind of gives me some comfort in that we're doing the right thing. I'm not averse to paying for a lead. You know, we're on a couple of things where we do buy the odd lead. I've tried lots of different lead sources over the last few years, and not many of them work, but I've got one or two that are reasonable. So I'm not adverse to a bit of pay-per-click, but we are just kind of redoing the website and things to make it more of a lead generation tool.
And that's it. It's going back to the thing that we spoke about at the beginning. It's having lots of different revenue streams, isn't it, or income? Anybody?
I probably found Facebook a little less reliable for leads for traffic lately, because with the new special ad categories on Facebook, we come under the housing category, and it's really, really cut down what we can target. I don't know if anyone else is finding this, but it's really, really cut down what we can target for mortgages on Facebook. Whereas Google, you don't have any of those constraints. You can, target married couples with infant children if you want, and that earn between X amount. Facebook have taken a lot of that away. So we use Facebook mostly for just a little bit of brand awareness and retargeting and things, but not necessarily to drive traffic to the website.
That gives us a whole overhaul. We've talked Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Google as well.
Yeah.
I hope everybody listening or watching, this has brought loads of value. It'll be really exciting to get you on in 12 months' time to see exactly how the journey's gone.
Yeah.
I'd love to see, because the nice thing is you do a lot of Instagram stories of you doing the content. So if people want to follow Adam, follow him on Instagram, because it's Adam Vantage Mortgages, isn't it?
Adam Messer Vantage Mortgages, yeah.
Take a little look on there and you'll see him just bit by bit, and you might pick up a few things. I've picked up a few things on here, especially about video, YouTube, searching for certain keywords, and the thumbnail as well. It's a big thing. Yes, it's having the time to do it. I appreciate that. There's a lot of mortgage brokers that will be still working in the business, and it's very hard to do this, but something for the future, put it on your list. Adam,
if you've got Canva, once you've got a template set up, it takes me 2 minutes to just change the words and put a new photo on there, and away we go.
Well, then, haven't you? Something I'm going to do for this podcast. That's an action point for me. I'm going to start using thumbnails. Adam, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. Hope everybody
thanks for having me.
From this, go and connect with Adam on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, and he'd be more than happy to answer any questions, I'm sure, about YouTube.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you.